Okay, good morning people. Hello, hello. Hope you're having a good day so far. We're starting bang on time. I know people might roll in late, which is fine, but thanks very much for coming along to the seminar. I really appreciate it. I hope you're here to learn something. I've got 30 minutes to cover like a really vast topic called content marketing, right? It's all about basically how to get customers in the 21st century. That's what it's all about. We're going to talk about consumer behaviour. We're going to define what content marketing is. We're going to talk about how you can actually embrace the principles of content marketing in your business as well. The first thing I'm going to do is an interactive part. Don't be frightened. I want you to put your hand up if you've heard of content marketing before, nice and high so I can see it. Okay, keep your hand up, and keep your hand up again if you understand what content marketing actually is. Okay, so what we find, I ask this question, it's like a really scientific poll, but we ask this question all the time to try and figure out what's going on. But a lot of people, it seems, have heard of content marketing, but don't actually understand what it is. And that's why we do what we do, is to try and educate people about what content marketing is and how you can embrace it in your business. So hopefully, it looks as though you're going to learn something new today, which is worth the trip through to Glasgow. If you're looking to speak to me after today, I'm just at the stand right next door at E11, which is the media chip stand who I'm representing today, and we basically work with managed websites. Okay, so if you're looking for a website, you want to ask questions about websites, then come and speak to us afterwards and we'll be able to help you. So what I want you to do today is I want you to put yourself in the shoes, not as a business owner or your customers. I want you to think about yourself as a consumer, how you buy products and how you buy things today, right? I just want you to just put yourself in that mindset, okay, about how you buy stuff today, because things have changed a lot in the last few years. So we're going to talk about changing consumer behaviour first of all to set the scene. So what I want you to do is think like a consumer, and think about these things, right? So when you buy a product or you're looking for a service or something like that, you've usually got a problem or a question that needs answering, right? So you'll do something like search on Google, or you'll look at reviews on Amazon, or you'll compare features and prices and products, right? Comparison websites are the most popular websites in the world, right? So this is the kind of path you go through. You might ask a friend on Facebook or Twitter. You'll do everything apart from speaking to a salesperson, right? You'll do all of that before you speak to anyone. I was just speaking to an insurance guy, very quick story, an insurance guy out there, and it was the same situation. When you're looking for something like insurance, you can pretty much go from I've got a problem to buying insurance without speaking to anybody. Nobody wants to speak to a salesperson. In fact, it's the last thing you'll do. I want to talk to you about this number, and if you pick up anything from this presentation today, it's this number here. 70% of the buying decision is made online before people contact you for the first time. Okay? Now that number might seem quite high, but I think in some respects it's quite modest, right? And it's only going to go up and up as times go on. It's called the zero moment of truth. Now, everyone knows what a moment of truth is, whether you know it or not. It's when someone picks up the phone, contacts your business for the first time, walks into your shop for the first time, picks up your product off the shelf for the first time. And at that moment in time, they'll decide whether they're going to buy from you or not, okay? Or take another step further in the buying cycle. It's called a moment of truth, because at that time, they make a decision. There's a fork in the road. Now, what you need to realise is that the zero moment of truth, that's happening all online before they contact you for the first time, before they've ever heard of you, before they know your brand name, before they heard of you. They are making that decision online before that first contact, right? So it used to be that we had a little bit of more control over that moment of truth. Now that's all happening online. 70% of the buying decision is done online before first contact. And again, just think about how you buy stuff today, okay? Things have changed drastically. You've got women buying shoes online, right? If you just think back, 5, 6 years ago, that's probably, even sooner than that. It used to be you'd walk into the shop and try on a bunch of pairs and do it that way. But now you can order it all online and send them all back, and you don't even have to speak to anybody. Google is the new 0800 number of the new age, right? If you've got a question or a problem, what do? You Google it, right? You just pick out your phone and you Google it. You're in total control. So there's this knowledge shift. Again, putting your business hats on here. There's a knowledge shift between what consumers used to know and what salespeople used to know. It used to be that salespeople knew everything, consumers knew very little. And that was fine in the days where advertising and mass marketing was okay, but that was what we did. But now, it's much more that the consumer is in control. We're educated, we're educating ourselves. So with your business hat on, I want you to think to yourself, well, if 70% of the buying decisions being made online before first contact, are they finding me, our business? What content are we creating that answers questions, solves problems before they even know that there's a solution for their problem, a service or a product? Because if you're not trying to win the zero moment of truth, you're losing customers that you never even knew that you had the chance to get. Okay? See, trust is everything in business. We've got an abundance of choice right now. We can choose to buy a product or a service from all over the world. We can do that from something in our pocket, right? We can do that. So why should they choose you? It's all about trust, and trust takes time to build, right? It's all about building relationships. What we have to understand is that people are not in buying mode all the time. Okay, they don't go home at night and get their purse and their wallet out, sit next to their computer and start to see what they're going to get sold. People are not in buying mode all the time, so why are we trying to sell all the time? We need to change the way we do things. People want to make an educated buying decision. Okay, they want to feel good about the purchase they're making. They're in control. They want to do it in their own time. So if that's the case, where are they getting their education from? Who's teaching them? That should be you. If you want to capture these customers, we need to stop selling in our marketing. Okay, and you're thinking to yourself, well, in business I've got to make sales. It's just the sale, when the sale takes place, it's changed. Okay, think about the 70% of the buying decision being made online before first contact. If you're not being found in that time when they're researching and spending time educating themselves, then they're going to do business with someone else. I'll tell you a little story. This is Gordon Matthey. Does anyone here know of Gordon? Before I tell the story, that's fine. Gordon is a karate instructor. He's 40 years in karate. He's a 6th dan in Shotokan. Anyone into karate? Cool. So Shotokan karate. He's an expert. You know, no argument. 40 years, 6th dan. He's been doing it for a long, long time. And just recently, he was on one of our masterclass programs. He said to me, "Chris, I've never been afraid of anything in my life." And I'm like, "Okay, Gordon, yeah, I can see why." And after learning all about this content marketing stuff, he said to me, "You know, I don't want to become the Betamax of my industry. I'm scared that I'm going to become irrelevant, right? Because he's got a great product, he's got a great service, he knows he's good at what he does, but his competitors are winning because he's not communicating effectively." Effectively, what Gordon was saying to me is he wants to differentiate, he wants to communicate effectively, he wants to grow his audience, build his business, he wants to be relevant, he wants to be successful. And it reminded me of this quote from Peter Drucker 61 years ago, more relevant now than it ever has been. The purpose of a business is to create a customer. The business enterprise has two and only two basic functions, marketing and innovation. And of those, marketing is the distinguishing, unique function of the business. The bit you want to take away from that is that marketing is the distinguishing, unique function of the business. So you can have the best product in the world, you have the best service in the world. If you can't communicate it effectively and nobody can find you, and you can't build that trust and relationships, you're not going to be doing business for a long time, especially nowadays. So that was 61 years ago. Quite interesting, I think, to see how things have not changed, really. It's just we've got away with it for so long. Let's define what content marketing is, so you've got an understanding. Usually I do about 3 or 4 different quotes or definitions. I've not got time for all that today, unfortunately. This is one I really like. Marketing is telling the world you're a rock star, and content marketing is showing them that you are one. So there's a subtle difference between telling people what you do and showing them what you do. Okay, it's just subtle but distinct. The content marketing is the art of communicating with your customers and prospects without selling. It's non-interruption marketing, and instead of pitching your products or services, you're delivering information that makes your buyers more intelligent or perhaps entertaining them to build an emotional connection. Okay, that's my favorite definition of content marketing, right? And I want you to pull something out of this. So let's break it down. Communicating without selling, right? That's at the heart of content marketing. Your ability to communicate people without talking about your products and services, without trying to sell to people. You've got to answer the questions, solve the problems. It's non-interruption marketing. It used to be that we could spend lots and lots of money on marketing, advertising, and then interrupt people in their day-to-day lives. Radio ads, TV ads, newspaper ads, whatever it was, pay-per-click. You've got all these things popping up on the internet now. Suddenly they're starting to disappear, become less popular. People don't want this. You have to create marketing that they will seek to find, to educate themselves, okay? It's the total opposite of what we're used to. And building this emotional connection, you're thinking to yourself, this is business, Chris. What's emotions got to do with it? It's got emotions, it's got everything to do with your business. Trust is an emotion. Why should someone buy from you? So through content marketing, we want to build a relationship, we want to build a trust. That's what it's all about. I'm going to tell you a story about Marcus Sheridan. Has anyone heard of Marcus Sheridan before? Apart from Ben. Okay, I'm going to tell you a real snippet of this story because there's, like I said, there's not a huge amount of time, but just give you a flavour of what you can actually do with this. I think in the blurb for this it says how to market your website effectively or something like that. So I'm going to try and give you something that you can take away with you. Now, it's worth writing Marcus's name down, and after this, Googling it, right, and learning from it. He's the best. He's the #1 thought leader in the industry in content marketing. And he's got something called They Ask, We Answer philosophy. And it's all about becoming a teacher of what you do. He used to be a pool guy, right? Back in 2008, his business was on the brink of disaster. Okay, and he embraced this philosophy. And in essence, right, he's basically saying, look, shut up, and start listening to your customers' questions. He's got this revolutionary, I had to practice that word in the car, by the way, revolutionary marketing strategy, right? Which is to answer his customers' questions. Right, sounds too simple, you're thinking, right? Yeah. So, but it's not just the questions, you've got to listen to the underpinning problems that they're having and be able to answer them, right? That's what we're looking for. It's all about becoming a teacher, and it all happens through great listening, great communicating, and great teaching. And the whole concept is to become this teacher, understand that your potential customers have questions, and it's your responsibility to answer them. Okay? Just think about everything I've just said so far about Google. Google's job is to answer questions and solve problems. That's all it does. If someone types a question into Google, are they finding your answer? Okay, is that starting to make a little bit more sense? The big 5 areas that matter the most in questions and answering questions are these 5. Okay. The #1 thing that people want to know is how much this stuff costs. But not only that, they want to know how can I save money as well, right? So they're looking to save money, they want to understand how things are priced. This isn't as simple as having a pricing page on your website, which a lot of people still struggle with. This is about discussing the elements of price, how price impacts your product or impacts your consumer. How do you save money? How can you make it more affordable for people? Teach them how to make an educated buying decision in your industry. Problems, nobody talks about the problems, right? There's fears, there's anxieties, there's irrational things going on in your consumer's mind about why they don't want to buy from you. You have to think about why someone would not want to buy from you, and then think about how you can get over those fears or objections through your content. So thinking about all the reasons why someone wouldn't want to buy from you or from another vendor in your industry, and answer those problems as well. Approach them. Nobody likes the big elephant in the room, but someone's got to do it. And then obviously, I mean, you think about comparison websites and review-based websites, the most popular websites in the world. Why, as business owners, aren't we comparing products and different things to help and teach our audience effectively? Why are they learning from a third-party website? Why should they not be learning from us? So there's just these 5 areas are what will move the needle and get you found on the internet. And also, it's more than that, though. It's not just about being found in search. This is about educating. This is about becoming an authority in your marketplace. This is about differentiation. This is an example. It's the only time I've got for one example really is. Marcus Sheridan wrote this article in 2009. How much does it cost? How much does a fiberglass pool cost, right, to build it? He's got the most popular website on the internet for anyone that wants to install a fiberglass pool, except they only do it in Richmond, Virginia, right? So they've got a very small part of the world, except they're getting something like 300, 4,000 visitors a month onto their website. They're basically the Wikipedia of fiberglass pools. So how much does a fiberglass pool cost, right? And you think, well, just be like, well, you have to think to yourself, well, it really depends, doesn't it? On the size, the location, the materials you want, all the add-ons. There's lots and lots of reasons why your fiberglass pool would be more expensive or less expensive, right? So it depends. So what Marcus did was he answered the question. He said, we get this question asked of us all the time, so we're going to answer it. And he takes you through it, step by step. This is what will impact the price of your fiberglass pool. These are all the things you need to think about when you're buying a fiberglass pool. Guess what happens? Well, you got hundreds of leads from that one article. So that's from 2009 to 2012. Doesn't matter what the software is, but basically you just need to know he's able to track the keywords that people are searching in blue, and you can see the red arrow showing you where all those leads were coming in from, right? So every time someone searches something like, let me just look at here, river pools and spas, cost of fiberglass pools prices, fiberglass pool problems, you can see there, there's not got an arrow next to it. These are all the most popular keyword phrases that people are typing to Google, right? And he's been found for that one article, which generated $2.5 million for his business from one piece of content on his website. Now, the reason that happened is because nobody else was talking about it. Everyone else wanted you to phone before you got the price. Right? That happens in business all the time. I'll look at the prices on the website. The reason they phone me is to get the prices. And it's like, well, you're losing a whole bunch of customers that didn't make the phone call, because we know that 70% of the buying decisions made online. That's a really simple example of Marcus Sheridan's philosophy. But to bring it down to earth a little bit, let's look at Kate McQuillan's website here. This is her blog page. Now, Kate, just very quickly, Kate McQuillan, she is an advocate of this philosophy. She heard of Marcus Sheridan a couple of years ago and just blind faith just stepped right into it. She's like, I'm going to answer every single question that my audience could ever have. She's a pet sit company based in Ireland. She grew her business from 4 people to 55 people in about 2.5 years. She gets about a dozen leads. This is probably 6 months old, this data, but she's about 10 or 12 leads a day, and she's getting about 12,000 visitors a month on her website for a pet sit company based in Ireland. And just look at the examples. Pet insurance, a review of an insurance company. And you think to yourself, why is she talking about somebody else's brand? That's of interest to her audience, right? If they've got pets, they probably want to find out about insurance, right? It's indirectly related to the product that she sells, or the service she sells. 3 articles a week for 3 years. She's got over 500 blog articles on her website now, all about this stuff. Any question you've got about to do with pets, she's answered them, right? Okay, I realise that pets lend themselves to the internet, and perhaps they maybe even created the internet, but that's just another simple example. You've got to see that this applies to your business as well, to mark what industry you're in. So here's a challenge for you. Listen to the questions and the problems that your customers have, your prospects have. If you're in business already, look back through your emails that you get, the inquiries you get. Just be more switched on and conscious to the questions you're being asked. I can guarantee you that if someone's asking this a question of you, that there's loads and loads of people that have either searched a variation of that question or actually have that question in their head and looking for an answer. But it's not just the answer to the question, it's the solution to the problem that underpins that question as well. You've got to be helpful. And you've got to communicate at a level that they can understand as well. So forget about jargon, just keep it nice and simple. Do it consistently and do it for a long period of time. Okay? That's just, again, like I said, I don't have time to really dig into it, but that's just a flavour of what you can get yourself involved in. As I mentioned, I'm representing Media Chimps today, which is a managed website company, so we can't really talk about content marketing and all this stuff without talking about websites, right? Who has a website at the moment? Okay. So what is it that makes a great website? Kind of rhetorical question. We won't have time for Q&A, but think to yourself, what makes a great website? I would urge you as well to just be a little bit more conscious when you're browsing the internet as well. Why you're kind of dropping off from websites, why you're closing them down, or why you're staying on them, right? And it's very subtle. Nobody wants moving parts, flashy. You don't need to be clever with websites anymore, right? Because of mobile, and everyone wants to, in short, everyone wants to get the information they're looking for quickly. And if you can't get it quickly, you're going to go somewhere else. Alright? You're going to click back into Google, change your search, get a different result, and then find the one you're looking for. The person that can answer the question, give you the information that you're looking for quickly and easily, is the one that's going to probably end up getting that phone call or that email. We call websites your mothership, right? You cannot operate a business in the 21st century without a website. It's just as simple as that. It cannot be done. Because people are judging you online before they judge you offline. That is what's happening, right? That's what people expect. Consumer expectations are interesting because you're not getting compared against your competition. You know, someone's not going onto a website and saying, oh, I found this insurance website compared to the other one, it's better. They're not doing that. They're comparing your website and the experience they have on your website with the best experience they've ever had on a website, right? So they'll compare you against any experience they have. Their expectations are very, very high, and they're very smart as well. So you have to think about all of this stuff, right? Just make it really simple for people, make it quick and easy to find what they're looking for. The rise of content marketing has had a massive impact on websites. Okay, it used to be that brochure websites were okay. It used to be that you could probably get away without having a website for your business, but nowadays that's totally changed. People expect to go to your website and not just find services pages. They expect to find information that's going to help them to make an educated buying decision. Okay, they want to see they want to hear about your story. They want to. There's loads of questions they need answered. They expect to see all this on your website. It's not just, a website has to be dynamic. It never stops changing. So your mothership, if you do this properly, it should be like one of your top 3 assets for your business, your website. Your website's never finished. That's why I'm quite comfortable representing media channels, because they're a managed website service. They believe at their core, their philosophy is that your website never changes. You don't pay a one-off fee and then you're done. It's just a moving beast. Think like a consumer. It's difficult to do, but just put yourselves in the shoes of what you expect when you're having an experience on the internet. People want to find relevant content quickly, clear navigation, simple, clear homepage design, and just think mobile as well. It doesn't have to be flashy, it doesn't have to be clever, it has to deliver the right information to the right people at the right time. Okay? Start there and everything. Let's talk about Google for a second. Again, can't talk about content marketing without talking about Google. And a lot of other things like social media, which we don't have time for. But there's a big misunderstanding, I think, about how Google actually works, right? I'm not going to talk to you about how Google works. And we are talking about SEO. Who's heard of SEO before? Ben, you can. I am talking about SEO here, by the way, but I'm not actually calling it that, right? I'm trying not to speak in jargon. Just think about what Google's job is to do, right? I'm not going to talk about algorithms and numbers and all that nonsense. Google's job is to answer questions and solve problems, right? That's all it's there for. Consumers, people in everyday life are getting very good at understanding how to search. It used to be that they didn't know how to use it properly, right? But now they're really good at it. They'll type in a question. Google will even predict what you're going to search for. And if you don't get the results you need in like the top half of the page, like the first 3 results, you'll go back and you'll change your search term, right? To find a better result. People are smart, they just know how to use this stuff. But if you've got a question, you've got a problem, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to type it into Google, and Google's going to present to you the most accurate results based on your search. And it'll be maybe a blog article, or a white paper, or an ebook, but there'll be a video there for you to watch, and there'll be images for you to see as well, an image reel, videos. It delivers multimedia to you because it knows that some people like to read, some people like to watch, some people like to listen to podcasts, so you've got to think about that as well. In essence, it delivers valuable and helpful content based on a number of factors, but mainly, to identify a valuable piece of content, it's quite easy. Did people click on it? Did they stay on it? And then did they maybe share it, right? That's what we're looking for. A lot of people ask us, how can we get our website to the first page of Google? Why is my website not on the first page of Google? And it's because they're not doing these things. They're not answering questions, they're not solving problems, they're too busy trying to put on their homepage, insurance company based in Dundee or something like that. People don't search for that. They're not searching for stuff like that, they're asking questions. It's completely different. And it's all about increasing organic search results, okay? So if that's a bit of jargon for you there, I guess, but that's the number one thing that you really want for your website is organic traffic. And organic traffic is just simply driven by search. So if someone types something into the search box in Google and finds your website and they click on it, that's one person from organic search on your website. It's the most relevant traffic, it's the best traffic for your website, and guess what, it's totally free as well, after you've done your content research. So how are you going to start your content marketing journey? Simple. You're going to do everything I just said, and then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to become a consumer, okay? What I mean by that is, if you want to start your content journey today, let's use a blog article or blog as an example, because it's tangible and people understand it. The first thing you'll do, and we've interviewed dozens of thought leaders, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go and read blogs, right? You've got to go and find out what's happening in your industry, so go see who's doing what they're doing, what they're writing about, what seems to be working, what seems to not be working, and comment on the blogs and bookmark them and educate yourself. This is basically research you're doing here. So you become a consumer. Does that make sense? You consume the content. And then the next stage might be that you're going to be a curator of that content. Let me just explain what that is for a second. The best analogy I can give you is a museum curator. Imagine this was our museum, this is our room. What we would do in order to bring people into our museum and sell tickets at the front door is we'd go and grab other people's work and put it on our walls, right? And some other sculptures and things like that. We didn't create any of the content, yet people are visiting our home, our venue. It's the same principle. So you can find the best content that's out there and start sharing it with your audience. find out what they like, find out what they don't like. We curate a huge amount of content because it's a big part of content. You don't have to create everything yourself. But at this stage in research, you can actually use it to test and see what people like and what they don't like. Do they like video? Do they like blogs? Do they seem to like one piece of content than the other? And once you've done those two stages, hopefully what you'll find is a gap that you can fill with your content. You say, nobody seems to be doing this, let's go do that, and then let's become a creator of content and serve our audience. The biggest myth in content marketing is that people think you write a blog, you publish a blog, someone reads a blog, and then they phone you and buy from you, right? That's the biggest myth. We wrote a bunch of blogs, Chris, nothing seems to be happening. Okay, you've got to write and publish, or it could be video, it doesn't matter what the platform is, write and publish, continually. So you build, go back to the very start of this presentation, you've got to build trust. Trust doesn't get built over one blog article, so it needs to be built over time. That is the biggest myth in content marketing, and that's the reason why most people fail. Why people don't get started, they don't see the value. The biggest excuse we get is, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to write blog articles, Chris. It's the adult equivalent of the dog at my homework, effectively, right? And that's what they're saying to me. I don't have the time. Okay, that means you don't see the value of it, and that's fine, because you might just listen to this presentation today, you might go away and watch some more videos, and over time, your belief factor in this will go up. Content marketing is the only way that's left to market your business. Advertising is not the way. It really isn't. They don't see the value. They don't get it. They're just not educated enough about it. And again, this is fine. It's just a case of educating people. One of the big ones, though, is that it's not painful enough to change. Everything seems to be fine, so why bother, right? And that's a tough one for us. So we have to try and get them into the fear mode, almost like we say to people, like, well, what happens if your competition went and did this thing? And in 6 months' time, you're looking back saying, I should have done that. I knew about that, but I didn't do anything. Fear's massive. Fear of the competition stealing our content, fear of publishing, fear of a new platform, fear of technology, and fear is all about confidence as well, isn't it? And to improve your confidence, you just have to educate yourself, right? Just understand it a bit more. So you can overcome fear through education, through practice and study, and complacency. It's a big part of it is just the sheer the lack of desire to actually change and develop your business. Remember we talked about marketing and innovation at the very start, the two factors that distinguish a business. Innovation, that's just research, that's just increasing your knowledge. So it's a big part of it. So content is the starting line. Okay, it's not, you don't publish an article and that's you finished, you don't do one YouTube video and that's you done. That's you just starting. Okay, that's where it all starts. And that's why we don't talk about social media. Social media is the next thing that you need to look at. You have to do this first. So here's some things for you to think about as we go into the last few slides. Create content for prospects. Don't create it for customers. Because if you're creating content for customers, you're not building prospects. And in order to get customers, you need people that are remotely interested in what it is that you do. So have something free or low risk that people can take away with them. Right? Something that doesn't cost them too much money, something that is not too high a risk for them. To get them involved into your ecosystem. Have a rich source of content. Now, the richest sources of content you can have is a blog, a video series, or a podcast series, right? You might not know what all those are, go find out. But that's basically what you need, a rich source of content. A rich source of content is something that you own and have control over. It's not building your content on rented land like LinkedIn or social media. Control website. And that's the last point anyway, as well covered. Make it easy to find and consume. Just get it all out there, all your knowledge. You've got tons of knowledge about your industry, all the questions that your customers ask about what it is that you do. Get it all out there. Who cares about your competition? They'll be playing catch up with you in no time. Build your list. The most overlooked part of content marketing is capturing your audience. Point one, have something free, something that helps them to make an educated buying decision, a resource, an ebook, something that they can download that gets them onto your list. An email list is a great way to build your audience and just take control. And that final quote there, if you can't rely on the media, you have to become the media. Right? You've got total control. Your blog is your magazine, your newspaper. Your YouTube channel is your TV show. Your podcast is your radio show. The only barrier between you and actually doing it is your computer. That's it. You've got full access to these channels. It used to be that the third parties owned the audience. You know, the newspapers, publishers. That's not the case anymore. People are building their own audiences for their own business. So, just to send you away with hopefully kicking the ass. See what happens. You've got to be consistent, right? It's like anything in life. I'm just going to flick through this for the conscious of time, but consistency is the key to anything in life and business. Go to the gym, keeping fit, everything is consistent. You've got to be consistent if you want to make this happen. Have a content schedule, have some sort of plan. Plan out your topics, think to yourself, well, what could we write about? You've got to start somewhere, right? A lot of this is actually predicated on action. You could read and read and read and go to seminars like this. If you don't do anything, there's going to be a point where you're going to learn nothing anymore. Get ahead of yourself. So in order to stay consistent, try and build a little buffer in and get ahead of yourself. Block time out in your schedule. I know that for me, something gets done when it's in the diary. Block it out. Find a time for it. I know that everyone's busy, but you've got to prioritise this. Think long term. Don't give up. And keep consuming content for inspiration as well. Remember I talked about the 3 C's for content market success? Keep consuming, see what other people are doing. This is the 4th C, surprisingly. And get around the right people. A big part of this is finding other people that also are interested in content marketing and are trying to grow their business. It's very isolated in business, or it can be lonely. Try and find some good people that you can communicate with. And be committed. And I don't mean commit to writing a blog article every week. That's relatively easy. I mean commit to learning. Commit to improving yourself. Commit to this thing called content marketing. Commit to being a teacher of what it is that you do. It's a philosophy, a mindset. You might, in 6 months' time or a year's time, people will start to look up to you, and you'll be inspiring and motivating other people based on what it is that you do. Get involved in your industry, especially in the content part of your industry. There'll be people out there that are doing really good things in your industry with content marketing, and they're just doing it. They're just getting on with it. Get involved with that, and think long term. And really, the 10 little 2-letter words is, if it is to be, it is up to me. It's a nice little mantra to say, because in life, we must suffer one of 2 things, and that's the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And that's what content marketing needs from you. You need to actually do it if you want to make this happen. And I know that a certain percentage of you will, which is awesome. If you've got any questions about anything, I'm happy to take you out of the room over to E11, which is where I am. I'm going to be there all afternoon, I think, as well. If you do want to find out a little bit more about all of this, it's only 30 minutes. I've got a 10-day crash course, right, that gives you in-depth everything I've mentioned here today. It's called the Content Crash Course. I spent about 30 or 40 hours developing this course, so it's really in-depth, but it gives you in bite size over 10 days. So contentcrashcourse.co.uk. If you go there, you will get a 10-day course in content marketing for absolutely free. And I don't sell it, by the way, surprisingly enough. But we do have a premium product as well, which is anyone that wants to really take the reins on content marketing and make it happen for them. Remember I mentioned about getting around the right people? This is the right people. We've got about 50 members at the moment, and they pay a price for it, but it gets your questions answered and gives you the support and help that you need to move forward as well. Thanks very much for listening, folks, and I hope you have a good day.